the idea and the concept is this, is that society has become over-relied. There's an over-reliance on money. Yeah. And the point is that what if we could find a different way, and this is something that I was mentioning to you earlier, is that what if we can create a new game as opposed to continuously trying to play the same game. Yeah. Now look, the system is broken in many different ways, but you know, just I want to give you like a tiny example, and this is something that's, you know, was one of the main things that just kept resounding with me. Do you know what the youth unemployment rate is in Greece? Have a guess. Anybody?
70%.
That's a really good guess. So I think last time I looked at it, it was definitely over 60%. So let's say 2 in 3 people, youth, are unemployed. Now, do you have any idea what that does to a society? It's devastating, not just in an immediate sense, but it will reverberate throughout generations, because you're talking about people being disincentivized to even learn now. What's the point? You know, you're going to come out and you're not going to have a job. Now, with an understanding of economics, you have to look at how economics defines unemployment. So you have a look, and there's, you know, there's residual unemployment, structural unemployment. They're either too lazy to work, or their skills are out of date, etc., etc. But none of those can account for 60+% youth unemployment. The reality is something's gone wrong here, right? And the obvious idea is that it's a currency system that's broken. But what if there was an alternative system? What if between, you know, Ed is skilled at this, I'm skilled at that, Steindor is a mechanic, you know, Daniel's a gardener, and actually he does the garden, I then do this, he then does that, and our living standards are elevated without using money.
Of course.
And suddenly all our lives are enriched. The whole idea is there an alternative? Can we create an alternative? You know, what I'm describing to you now is it's a form of social media. The whole idea is that if we can harness the virility of social media into a system, okay, and it can begin to spread, the speed at which it can do it will cause a full-fledged global revolution. It will actually do that, with no joke. And this is happening now. You know? The main thing about... Do you need a piece of paper?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
It's all right. So I think that without delving into the details, the biggest trick about this is scale. The point is that it's okay for us to create our thing that's perfect for us, but change happens when you have people that are not necessarily fully buying into the principles, but they actually just like the functionality of the site and are willing to use it, as long as they abide by some of the principles that we've put there, the basic structures, then actually you will be exacting change, but to people that are not amazing like yourselves, who just believe in it as it is in its pure form, actually, but those that actually, they might be motivated by money, they might be motivated by prestige, they might be motivated by many other things which you might not be. But if you can accommodate them all on a platform, that's when you create change, because you bring everybody in.
That needs to be consistent. What I was saying to you earlier, yeah, is every time that happens, that platform, that instruction, that accommodation, you need to accommodate them, you just said. The accommodation gets broken down every time, and every time the accommodation gets broken down, belief systems get destroyed, hearts get broken, people get demotivated. So what we need is ground and structure with consistency that doesn't rely on a certain spot, but it relies on a belief system that goes on to...
Correct. And let me just explain
it's a website.
Yeah.
Right, so what happens when the website gets popular and then the CIA and MI6 come calling, assuming they're not
I want to tell you one thing.
So them off.
So it's a fair point. Now, there's been a recent rise in collaborative consumption or sharing economy and so on and so forth. It's sort of starting to become more and more acceptable. But the point is this. I want to tell you something. So I was having a chat in the very, very early years when I was developing the system. And I was having a chat with a professor of arts in UAL. And he was helping me with some of the illustrations for the website and stuff. And this is what he said to me. It's exactly it. He said, right, look, if this ends up working, you're going to cause, like, there's going to be, you know, you're going to make a lot of enemies, you know. This is the point, because you are basically creating a separate structure. Now, for starters, I need to say that there's nothing that we're doing here that is illegal, right? Number one. But then number two is that what I would really love to see, is I want to see which politician is going to stand up and say, I am against people helping each other. I am against neighbors lending each other things. I want to see which one of them is going to do that, right? Can you imagine one doing it? The point is this, is if we remain and are aware of what we're doing, keeping it within the realms of legality, definitely, but at the same time creating a structure where we're saying, look, you cannot stop us from creating a group of people, a digital group that abides by certain rules. And that's the point. This is what we're doing. This is the way that you will create change. And the beauty of it is this, is that actually we are a platform. So you may add rules to your own tribe that may not apply to other tribes. So this is how we're going to do it at scale, because a different tribe might come and they're going to want to use their tribe differently to you. Okay, they're going to be, let's say they're businessmen, and they're going to want to say, right, what we're going to do is we're going to use our tribe for networking and for creating introductions to other important people or whatever. I'm telling you now, and I don't know if it'll upset you or not, but we're here, we're not saying you can't do that. We're not. The main thing is this, is that this is the structure, don't use money, okay, and create groups that trust each other. Yeah. That's the principles, right?
But what I'm trying to come forward with here is how, are we going to get this structure to keep going? Because right now, what we're relying on in this situation, is this evicted neighborhood. It ain't going to like that. So at some point, don't know, it could be tomorrow, it could be in 5 years' time, they're going to break it. When that breaks, and this whole fucking shit hits the fan, and there's people scattered everywhere with everything that I just told you before you started this comment. How are we gonna get this whole structure we are creating now to continue functioning without being seriously damaged?
Right. That's okay.
We left with the ideas when we go.
But this is what I've been trying to ask you since the beginning.
No, that's fine. And actually,
we need to know this.
This is exactly what.
Secure.
Right. But do you know? I'm going to tell you, there's 2 points here. Number one, what's going to continue this working? It's you, and it's you, and it's you. The idea is, this is your community. This is how communities work. It is user generated. So at the end of the day, if you all log in and you join, but you all don't do anything, you don't invite anybody else, or you don't offer a service, or you don't offer a request, actually the thing won't work. Number one. Number two, the beauty of it is this, is that your current structure is completely jeopardized if they come and throw you physically out. Here, what you are creating, as we said before, is more of an idea. You're talking about something they can't break that up. They can't break it up because you are a tribe.
No,
they can't force you to
break that up if the people are not far enough down the line. You know, the people in the community, the people that are part of the structure, these people's systems belief needs to be, like you say, we need to trust each other. We need to have trust so that we feel secure to carry on doing our thing. If there's 2 people in a group of 5 that don't have that trust, and when the shit breaks down, these 2 people get demotivated and broken-hearted, you are down to 3, and you now have to make the efforts to get another 2 and put those 2 mindsets in the same mindset as the truth, so it doesn't happen again in the future.
Right, and do you know whose job that is?
Mine, and
correct.
Everybody else.
Correct.
Yes, but
that's the point. And
I personally do not feel secure enough right now because of the situation that I was speaking to you since the beginning. How the fuck are we going to get security on this?
I think there's an issue here of stability of the system that that they'd break up the site
every
itself.
fucking time.
Or they'd break up the tribe.
No, I don't think that's it. I don't think you're not saying that they're going to shut us down.
No, I'm not saying they're gonna shut you down.
Right, okay.
But like, as a member of this community, I've been a member of a few communities that have come up and I've broken down again and again and again in the past couple of years alone. Yeah. And every time, what breaks this system down and it weakens it, and it gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and every time it takes more and more and more effort and energy. It takes more pulling power. It takes more of my mental, physical energy, which could be used to be to keep the community going. That is now being diverted. I'm being kept busy trying to make the structure continue working, other than making the structure itself go to work forward.
I'm not understanding. How are they going to break it down on
I
the
think
side?
By evicting people. Then you don't have a base, and when you don't have a base, you can't live, and when you can't live, you can't do shit.
And with new laws, making things.
It is. I think, as I clarified before, I think there is parts that are not. They're outside of the realms of the site. You know, this is the thing, and so basically, our idea is to facilitate your tribe. It is to provide you with a structure and a system and a digital token system that we believe is fair. We provide you with other facilities as well. So there's like an accolade system to help people keep count of who is building up and is contributing more. So it's not simply about tokens. You know, we're building features within there to help, but that's the sort of, I don't want to say limitations of it, but that's as far as where we go.
Oh, shit. Thor's leaving.
What's needed?
Thor, the god of thunder, is leaving for a while.
Okay.
He spent 6 months again in the project. And
My laptop. I'm just gonna get those out. Okay.
Shall I? Daniel, do you have a question?
I'm processing it right now. I'm just simulating things in my head and running simulations as always. Because again, every time this kind of thing happens, either from an internal struggle or an outside threat or something breaks up a community or a project, or it works. That's also in here, if we could bring all the people back to their homes, then we must be off to somewhere else. It's different what we're doing, but every time we're somewhere doing something for a local community, we come together with other people. We create these experimental communities and we live by our principles, our ideas, and every time it's broken up, we only have ideas again that's been already there and continue to be there.
How often do you encounter the same people?
Same people?
Like,
a lot.
Let's say in this group, a lot.
A lot, yeah.
So even though they break up the thing that you were dealing with at that time, a lot of the people that would scatter would reform in a different cause.
Yeah, but some of them get stronger, some of them get weaker, and some of them go crazy, or they just leave the whole thing. So many of them are migrating, and it's less and less actually from the people we started with. Like when we started with Occupy, we had, I don't know, thousands of people running around occupying the city of London. So not too many of them stay together, and with different projects we come together. The only way to get new recruits is by the government and the banks making people's lives completely unlivable, evicting them from their own houses by the fucking hair. So that's how we get new people into these struggles, and also those people's mindsets and value systems are different many times. Like the local people here, they were not activist types or something, and now they have to do what we're doing, and we're teaching each other, and we're training them as well. They're climbing trees now, the mothers, and they're learning how to barricade and learning a lot.
Can I ask you, let me tell you one thing that is more of a practical concern, I think, for me, is that if you're cohabiting the same space, and you need something done, this is where like I said, it's very practical. You might rightly so think, what's the point in going onto the platform to put it up when I can just ask somebody to do it or to help me? So you see, and I think this is the thing that I'm just trying to play out how we can help, or how your involvement on the platform would be.
Excuse me.
Yeah, please. Yeah, of course.
These kinds of communities you are talking about, it's like exchange of service. I do that, you do other stuff.
All goods. It can be borrowing stuff.
There are a few communities in Portugal.
Yeah.
Working like this a long time ago.
Yeah.
They don't need money.
We are not the first ones. Yeah.
For example, we don't really use money, and plus we don't have any income normally. Some people might do, but this is like a full-time job for us, and plus I try not to involve money because it just creates very strange situations within activists, especially in London. The Germans are really good with it, but somehow here people are not ready for that yet.
Yeah, but these communities works without money.
Yeah. That's the ultimate goal usually. Just
exchange of service, you know.
Yeah, that's our goal.
You do that.
Well, mine at least.
And other stuff, and stuff for the community work.
Yeah, but now when we need to like help people or we need certain stuff, without using money, we have a wish list, for example. There are people who support us and they have money. So someone does have money in the process somewhere. Just we don't have a platform to organize these things.
I suppose this is what you would use Tribes and Zen for.
Yeah, that's one, yes.
Other question, how people can join your webpage, how they can...
Right, okay, so this is more of a technical thing.
Yeah.
We've kicked off, so it's taken, I can't tell you how long this has taken to organise it properly. It's a structure, as a platform, it's not easy, it's quite complicated. And putting it together and doing it has taken a long time. So we've just launched. So what we've done is this. We've done what you call a closed beta. Because the site isn't perfect, we know it's not perfect at the moment because it's new and we're sort of trying to work on it. What we're doing is we're only allowing people who we know, who we invite onto the platform in order to be able to get their feedback, in order to be able to understand from them in a close personal sense, okay, so, what would you like, what wouldn't you like, and just get feedback from a few people. But also, it's the idea of when people, if we invite them, they are aware of that the site is young, so they are ready to tolerate it if not everything works perfectly. Do you know? And so in the meantime, if little things are not working exactly right, we can then work on fixing it. And then the idea is you open it, and eventually anybody can start a tribe. That's the point. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain structure to the tribe itself. So to get more technical in a sense, you would have the people that would come on and create it. And then any additional members, once they've created it, is completely on them. It's nothing to do with us. So once they've created the tribe, we'd have a 3-person panel, as we have a minimum of, would create it. And then they invite people, and this is how it actually populates. So that they invite, and then they invite, and then they invite. We had this theme at the beginning when we were thinking about a system that doesn't rely on money. And we decided that if it doesn't rely on money, then there has to be something that is almost like a substitute, which is an increase in trust. And this is why then everyone who comes in is invited by the people who are within it. This way you wouldn't need the money as much as well. That would help the leap from not using it. So that's pretty much how it worked. You'd have it, you'd set it up.
That's exactly right. See, the idea is this, is that it's not a normal invitation like other sites. The point is that when you invite, you are vouching for that person. Okay? This is very important because, let's say, Ruben knows Ed and I know Ruben. Now, Ed needs help or Ed needs to borrow something. Now, in the real world, if Ed came to me and I don't know him, I'm not going to lend him anything, right? It's just weird. He's just come up to me. You might lend him, I don't know. But if he came to me and wanted to borrow something from me, let's say I'd be less likely to lend him than if I know that Ruben's vouching for him. Because Ruben said, no, I vouch for Ed. He's like, I brought him into the tribe. So then that trust that I have for Ruben extends over to Ed. And that's how it works. So we've created a structure within the site, which was painful from a technical standpoint to do, but it's called the trust chain. And the trust chain basically means that the entire tribe is connected. You're all connected somehow, and you can actually trace the connection from any single member to any other single member. You see, and that's how you replace money. You replace it through relationships.
Belief systems. That's a belief system thing.
Yeah, and it's trust.
It's trust.
That's how we work as well. Like we
This is the
prefer
thing.
to have people coming through, especially in squads. In a protest site like this, it depends how desperate you are for getting people. Like if you're under attack,
Yeah.
anyone can come.
Yeah.
But if normally for everyday stuff, you let in people that you trust.
Exactly. It's just like the way you were saying about the management of the fridge and the resources and so on and so forth. The thing is this. This is there's the reason why money was created is because with money we don't need trust. Do you see what I mean? Because you are borrowing this from me, and in return you've gone, here is the deposit which equals the value of this. So then suddenly I don't need to trust you, because if you don't come back with this, I've got the value of it here, so it's fine.
Yeah.
This is the point. But the point is you get rid of that, and then what happens? I'm going to lend you this, but I need to trust you.
Yeah.
And that's the point. The entire project hinges on trust.
On trust, yeah.
This is the thing.
I mean,
And
there's another point. If somebody, let's say if I performed a service, a gentleman there, I don't know your name, but if I performed a service for Ricardo, if I performed a service for Ricardo and then I'm thinking, well, I've gained a certain credit that you've all seen me do it, but then I have to trust that you would actually help me when I ask you, because we're not doing direct barter. When you do direct barter, then the market starts to shrink. So I need everybody to be willing to help me because I helped Ricardo. So this is the trust with money. Then if he gives me money for it, well, then that's the vehicle for reciprocity. I would give it to one of you, and then you would in turn help me again. But if we're all connected in this one space, then we're all here. Then the reciprocity actually gets, used up in the trust currency that we have between us all. So this is how it would work. That I know he would do it for me. I know I can trust him with the actual thing, and I can trust all of you that you would help me in kind. That's how it would work.
Actually, I think the things here work like this.
A little bit, probably.
Yeah.
I imagine.
I'm here.
Come on.
It's my third day,
Mhm.
and I don't have everything, but I have something, and somebody help me to
Yeah.
get this.
Yes, we are all with different skills and we are all help each other. Even it's very less people here it's working, but it's alright because we are able to feed each other. We have permaculture. We
And
try
then
to be sustainable.
With one advantage, I didn't need to ask. They offer.
Yeah.
They came to me.
well, this is the beauty, I think, of this is that as well, because on the platform we have two forms of ways to sort of create activity. One is to place a request, but another one is actually simply to offer. So you can place an offer, and then whoever wants it can have it, within your tribe. Now I need to mention that tribes are private. So the idea is that nobody outside of your tribe can see what's going on inside the tribe. So you can't have, whether it's I don't know, anybody who you may not want to see, they can't. So the activity of the tribe is for the people of the tribe. That's the point. We've made that always quite clear as well. I don't know if that's explained everything, but I think the idea is this: is that we think that it is a system that can be used by different people in different ways. But if we can get people's enthusiasm for digital activity and social media to be directed towards more meaningful conversations, more meaningful actions, actually, and to be able to create something that's more human than simply sharing or retweeting or something like that, it will be the next step in the maturity of the digital world that we live in today. This is the point.
Actually, you are talking about another network, right?
Yeah, and this is the whole idea is that we are now as connected as we will ever be as a species in our evolution. We've never been as connected as we are today, But where do we go from here? Where is the next step for us as humans? Is that we take this connectivity and we have to make more meaning out of it. And this makes more meaning out of it. This is the point. Okay.
Pretty good, yeah. And then we live on the internet. That's the other thing, that people are watching from all over the world, from Canada, from the UK, you never know from where. It depends on what the thumbnail looks like, what the title tells them, and if it's good, then they will reshare it and they will tell their people also to watch it.
Can you hand everybody the link afterwards, please?
Yes,
so that we
of course.
can spread the word around and other people can see what's going on.
Definitely,
here.
yes.
I mean,
of course.
people of the trust, so we can network
Yeah, thank you
further.
guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Motivate more people to do the same.
Absolutely. And people are watching, they're also sharing it usually. So yeah.
I've got a list of people that I could send
Because we
this
are
straight
really
to, and
skilled
they will do.
community, so I think we can.
Definitely, yeah. That's why we're here, to promote ideas, to pump out things and experiment with them and try to get to the next level before we work things. We might still work things, but at least we try. And we have a good time.
I mean, yeah. To be honest, we should definitely be in communication. I'd love to see whether you want this community here to be a single tribe or you want to create.
But there are different tribes in the big tribe.
Yes,
That's the funny thing. It's already like that.
Personally, yeah.
I'll like because I know tribes like this, not groups of people that are literally doing what you said, skipping the money, yeah, and they're going between themselves, and it gets bigger and smaller and bigger, and it breathes as the system moves them around, and let these tribes happen. Like here's one. There's one in Spain, one in Holland, in France, one here and there, and then turn all of these communities into one big community that communicates with each other, that interacts with each other. Let them have their own rules for each community, because each community needs their own rules according to their current situation, so that they can run their location better. But if you have a network that includes all these tribes, that make 10 rules that all these tribes are going to follow, yeah, in order to support each other all across the world, whatever the situation, and spread out that, then you have one tribe, which is not a tribe of people, but it's a tribe of tribes. Network it out like that.
Yes. So this wasn't a thought that was foregone. During the long development process of the structure and the theory of it all, there was it gets a little technical as to why we didn't do that straight off the start, and we've made the tribes private, is because the idea is that actually in previous models that we were testing out, tribes can actually work with other tribes. And then the whole idea is that any tribe that wants to work with another tribe can. But it was, to be honest, outside of our resources from a technical standpoint to be able to facilitate it all at the moment. So we tried to keep it simple for now, be able to build something that people will benefit, that will use, that will create change, that is scalable. And then hopefully as it gets used more and more, we can begin to add more and more features to it. That's the idea. And then just like you guys grow and strengthen, the whole site has to strengthen from support. And we're young. We're just starting out.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're like a control group now.
Well, you're not the only ones. I need to tell you. There is. We have tribes there, and there are different types of tribes that are starting, which is an amazing thing. We have. So I think I'm particularly interested in what you guys are doing, because you're almost looking at it from a very purist point, which I love. So I want to see how it'll work, whether it will work or not.
Yeah. We see what the bumps are usually. Physically, you can see when the obstacles are coming and how to deal with it. It's everyday life here that we keep experimenting with how to get along. And there's more and more groups coming in who are self-organized, so they are also tribes. But we know them from someone else, through someone else, so we have a connection with almost everyone around here. The same thing, we always have to have at least like 3 friends in common with each other, otherwise it's a bit weird. Then you can be a bit suspicious when no one knows the person, but still you get to know them. So it's good. Surveillance of the people. Perfect. I don't know what's happening outside. Nothing. Yeah, thanks guys for watching. And
Cool, man. No, I
what-
appreciate it. Thank you for inviting us here. I really
what should we say to the people who are watching? Like, what's the next step for them? Check out the website, or
I think the next step is to register their interest at taz.com, and we contact everybody who is interested in joining the site, and we find out a bit more about what they want to do, tell them a bit more about the system itself, and then we take it from there. We're just at the start of the journey, so I think. But anybody's welcome. Go to taz.com, and there's a place to leave your email.
perfect. Someone already pasted it in there
Just now.
so this is also interactive. Yeah, thanks guys for watching.
Thank
Thanks
you
guys for coming.
and share your
Absolutely my pleasure.
this project.
And that's it for now from Sweetstopia.
In between the group before everybody walks off, are there any things? Are there any pointers that we want to put down on paper for further improvement, so that it doesn't just disperse as an idea and everybody forgot about it half an hour down the line because the police turned up?
Yes.
Oh, they want to
Very
wait
good point.
I think no, it's fine, yeah, it's good. So I think is this off now, or is it off?
I'm going to
Because I
off
want
now.
to talk to you
Yeah,
about your own tribes.
yeah. I'm going off now,
Rather
and that's So
Yeah.
see you next time, guys.
The idea is this,
Sweetstopia
is that-
out.
is
Go
that
Pukai everywhere.
you
Ciao, ciao.
should